Good morning, Year 6, and welcome to Monday, the 22nd of February's literacy lesson. So, what we're going to do this week is we're going to research and find out a little bit more about a man called Charles Darwin. Now, we've already done cross paths with Charles Darwin a couple of times in curriculum and in a previous reading lesson. And today we are going to research facts, and this week we are going to be writing a biography about him. So you just need your booklets open on Monday and the 22nd of February to follow those, and then you need either the tricky facts at the back of the booklet or the trickiest facts as well. Okay, so the purpose of this piece is that at the end of this half term, each year group is going to produce an encyclopedia page for our topic title, which is What Do We Know About Life on Earth? We're going to produce our page in two parts. So this week we're going to learn and write about the life of a famous and influential scientist called Charles Darwin. That's going to make the first part of our page. So the audience is going to be the school community and parents who are going to look at this work on display. And the formality is we're writing to inform today. We need to make sure our tone is formal, our language is clear, and our facts are well explained. The irony that I messed that bit up. Our language is clear. And we are going to be writing a biography. So text type biography then. So if you don't know what a biography is, biography tells the reader about a famous person or person who's had particular achievement in life. Okay, so the language in it is very, very formal. Okay, it's also very technical. Like for example, this biography about Tom Daly is very technical in the sense that a lot of it is about swimming and about the things that are specific to him. And the layout is very much similar to that of a non-chronological report. So it's more or less a report about a person. And this has been written, they're often written to give information about people. Okay, so who was Charles Darwin? Now, I've got a little video here just to introduce it. It's called Video 1. Now, it will be on your timetables, and it will also be on the blog as Video 1. So what I'd like you to do is pause me and listen to that video. It's only about 4 minutes long. Okay, pause this video while you watch the next one. Okay, so we found out a little bit more about Charles Darwin, famous naturalist. Well, today we're going to research and take notes about him. So we're going to be looking at his early life and his education. He had a very, very interesting education, really, Charles Darwin. Kind of fell into being a biologist by accident. So as we're writing a biography, we're going to write our facts and research under 4 subheadings, 2 today and 2 tomorrow. So today we're going to look at early life and education. Tomorrow we'll look at work and voyage, the longest bit, and then his private life. So what I'd like you to do in your books, that I completely forgot to get you to do right at the start of this, is write the date. Now write today's date and tomorrow's date. It seems silly writing tomorrow's date as well, and we're just going to be carried on the same thing. And then write the learning objective to research facts about Charles Darwin. Pause the video while you do that. Okay, so you should have written those now. Sorry about that. And then just off to one side, write the subheading early life. Write that on the left. And about halfway down the page, or on the next page if you like, write education. Okay, underline them both so we know the subheadings. Now we've got a second video, again also on the blog as Video 2 and also on your sheets. It will have been emailed to your parents as well. And this is quite a long video, but we're only going to watch up to 4 minutes and 36 seconds today, and then tomorrow we'll watch the rest. And the reason we're going up to there is that because that's the only bit that's relevant for us today. So what I'd like you to do is watch the video and then take some brief notes under early life and then education as well. Okay, pause this video while you watch that one. Right, so you should have got a couple of notes for each of those. So the next part of today's task then is to really have a look at this research and have a look at his early life. So you should have at the back this PowerPoint. And so these are just some very, very basic facts about Charles Darwin, alongside some pictures. So they're almost in note form for you there. And if you're feeling up to more of a challenge, though, and you will recognise this, this is the text that we had a read in a couple of weeks ago. Okay, so I've put my own subheadings in to make it a little bit easier for you. So the bit that it says early life and then education, these are the bits to take notes from as well. I've also made the font a little bit easier to look at. So as you can see, his early life was quite interesting. He's very fortunate that he was born into a wealthy family, so he didn't do for much. And he was the 5th child of 6 people. And he looked up to his grandfather, who has the best name ever, Erasmus Darwin, who was a physician, a fancy word for doctor, and he was also a scientist. And his grandfather planted the idea about evolution quite early on in his grandchild Charles. His father, Robert Darwin, was also a physician, a doctor, and he'd grown very rich by investing his money earned from his medical practice. And then his mother there was a lady called Susanna Wedgwood, from a famous pottery family, apparently. But she died very, very young, and when Charles was 8. After she died, he started attending an elementary school, so he was home educated up to that point. So at school, at the age of 9, he went to Shrewsbury School, and he boarded there. Even though it was only a mile away, he boarded there. Now what that means is that he would basically live at the school unless it was half term, and then he'd go home. And it was very, very boring. He had to learn ancient Greek and Latin, and he absolutely hated it. Did not like it. Because he didn't like it, he was considered to be not very clever, his foreign language skills being very poor. So he had to learn by heart Roman and Greek literature, and he disliked doing that as well. But he did work hard. But as soon as he'd learned something and then done the task, he just forgot it all. He did enjoy hunting and going for long walks, and even from a very early age, he was very interested in the natural world. Okay, yeah, here we go. Look, that's something his father said to him. You care for nothing but shooting, dogs, and rat catching, and you will be a disgrace to yourself and all your family. Something his dad said to him. And even though, he was very enthusiastic about science, and was taught geometry by a private tutor, and learned things about the world, and he was intrigued by a book called Wonders of the World, which made him want to travel the world. His father also built him a chemistry laboratory in the garden tool house, and Charles often did experiments. So now these 2 bits are important, particularly geometry, but about the natural world, because eventually he was sent to Edinburgh Medical School, and he absolutely disliked all of that. So his education, there are quite a few things there. So he went to medical school, didn't like that. He went to Cambridge, did not like that either. And then he kind of fell into learning about the natural world at Cambridge, which then led him on to the next part. So there's some quite interesting things, and this is a very, very interesting story about the day he found 3 beetles and he put one in his mouth and it weed all in his mouth. Very disgusting. Okay, so have a quick read of that. I'm going to be taking notes on that today. So the last thing there is to, if you are looking for a real challenge, you will have a look at this website here, which again I'll put on the blog, and this gives you even more information than before about Charles's early life and about his education. Okay, so with the notes that we took before, what I'd like you to do is just add to your notes there. Make sure you're using bullet form. So here are a couple of questions that I'd like you to answer today. I'm not going to take notes and show you how to do that, because I feel like we've done a lot of that the last few weeks. So his early life. When and where was he born? Who were his family? Who were his parents? What did they do? Where did they live? And did he have brothers and sisters? So you need to answer all of those. And then for education, where did he go to school? What was he like at school? What did he like or dislike studying? What did he study in Edinburgh? What did he study in Cambridge? And what were his interests? Okay, so this is just the basic information that can all be found on Tricky. If you're reading the rest of the information for Trickier and Trickiest, then I would expect extra information for each of these sections to be written. So this is just the basics. Okay, to challenge yourself, we need to add extra information so we can write a thoroughly detailed biography. So our notes should be in bullet point form. So for example, this here, Charles Robert Darwin was born into a wealthy family on February 12, 1809 in the town of Shrewsbury, England, UK. He was the fifth child of six. That fact would be written as born February 12, 1809, Shrewsbury, England, wealthy family, fifth child of six. So that's how you should compact your notes. Okay, right, that's going to be all from me for today. Good luck, Year 6, and I will see you tomorrow.